welcome to Play Hard and Love Big Radio. My name is Katie Clark. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and Sup in Folsom, California. I feel that yoga has changed my life and has made me more aware and happy and enjoying of all the things that I have around me. So, Nick and I, in creating this podcast, aim to share our experiences, stories, insights in ways that hopefully inspire you to live your best life as well. Welcome to the show today. Today, my theme, my idea, the thing that has come up for me over the last week is the importance of having a why behind what you're doing. And so, yeah, like why it's important to have a why. And this came up for me because I've been thinking about just a lot of clients and people, friends that we used to have at the studio that, yeah, haven't been coming or haven't seen in a while, kind of stopped coming to the studio, and people that I really feel loved the practice, loved coming in, would share with me how much it had changed their life. And so, and I've been there myself, I've fallen in and out of my yoga practice over the years, or other forms of exercise, or just anything that I've done that is, healthy, or things that I've made shifts in. I've had waves of doing things and falling out of them, coming back. And so all of this got me thinking about, well, what is it that has someone come back to something that they loved at one time? What has someone come back to something that made a difference for them, that made them feel good, and that they aren't doing now? And I think the what is the why. So it's having the why and the understanding of why you do something is how you come back to it, and how you regain that benefit, those things that you love about something, those things that make you feel good. So I'm using yoga as an example, but this can really apply to anything. I think it's important to have a why for anything that you're doing, um, because it's purpose. Ultimately, having a why is having a purpose behind what you're doing, rather than just doing things um, that don't really maybe have value to you. So I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is really the power of purpose. And when you have a why, it provides direction and meaning for individual activities that you do, relationships that you have, or just your life in general. Um, it helps you stay on track with what you want to do, with your goals. And so it's really important to remember the power that purpose has on your life. And so, if we're just using yoga practice as an example, um, you know, if you're currently practicing or listening to this and maybe you haven't been practicing, um, whether just for a few days, a week, you've gotten out of your normal routine, or maybe you haven't done it in years, um, like, why is it that you do yoga? What do you get from it? And what is the purpose of you doing it? And I know for me, just speaking from my own experience, my biggest why for doing yoga and maintaining my yoga practice over the last almost 15 years now is that I am just a better person. And it sounds kind of cliche, or maybe like vague, but I can be more specific. And what I mean by a better person is that I'm more patient with myself and with others. I'm more compassionate. I'm more present. And I think that's the main one for me, and especially with my family, especially with our children. Presence is such a gift. Being fully with people that you care about is such a gift to yourself and them. And that is what I get from having a yoga practice. I get present, and I get when I'm not present. So I'm much more aware when I have a consistent yoga practice of the moments in my day where I get distracted and I'm no longer present. And I now have the ability to make a shift in that. And so that's my why. I'm curious what yours is. I'd love to hear it if you want to share it in the comments with me. So yeah, the power of purpose, finding that why and having that be something that you have behind everything you do. Not just the example that we're using here, which is yoga, but everything, right? And then I think the next thing that's really important is remembering your why. So there have been times over 15 years in doing a yoga practice consistently that I've gotten burnt out on it. I'll admit it. And the practice and the teaching at times, like there were times in my teaching when we were teaching a lot where I just got overwhelmed. It was like too much. But I think that can happen with anything. Like I get that in everything that I do. Like I can get burnt out, I can get overwhelmed easily. But when I remember my why, then I know that even if I'm overwhelmed by something, that I still should do it if it is something that makes me feel good, something that benefits me, something that is true to my core, something that is that makes me a better person, which is my why. So why would I not do something that makes me a better person? That wouldn't make much sense. So really remembering your why, especially when life gets busy and challenging. And I, for one, when I'm busy, the last person that I generally make time for is myself. Today I was really busy and I had wanted to go on a walk and I didn't. I didn't because I had other things to do, like this podcast being one of them, which I'm really happy I'm doing. However, I should have done the walk, right? So I should have taken that time for myself. And I do that though. I kind of put myself on the back burner. So if you can relate to that, I think it's crucial to remember your why when you're busy and things are challenging because you need to take care of yourself. In this instance, like doing a yoga practice or taking a walk that's taking care of myself, that fills me up, then I'm a better person for my family. So it's really important to remember your why. The third thing is, I already shared my why. I shared the power of having a why, the purpose. I shared the power of um, that why. And then I shared that it's important to remember your why, but maybe you don't know your why. So I think that's another thing, like really important to discover your why. And for me, I have a why for my yoga practice. I have a why for being a mom. I have a why for being a spouse. I have a why for all of the things that I do because it keeps me grounded in who I am and who I want to be for other people. So if you are listening to this and you're like, I don't know why, that's an inquiry to have. And I think it's really important to do that. And I think the easiest way to do that is to look at your life in general, like who you are and what your core values are as a person, and then see if all of the things, all of the activities and the relationships that you have in your life are aligned with your core values, and pick and choose the things to make time for that align with your core values, and maybe take some stuff out that is taking up time that don't align with your core values. And if you're really clear about the why, and yoga, as an example, is really important to you because it makes you feel good, makes you a better person, makes you show up better for the people that you care most about in your life, then make time for it. And then the last thing that I just wanted to touch on is the benefit of having a why and living with purpose. I think that because of the way that we live nowadays, the fast pace, the social media, the constant information, the like needing it to be done yesterday kind of attitude, I think that we have lost a little bit of slowing down, having purpose, having why, having clear direction, and being able to yeah, pick and choose the things that you really value to spend your time on. Um, there's benefit to that, and it's your health and your well-being and your longevity and your enjoyment of life. So consider that you can have a purpose-driven life and be slower with it, because if you're more purposeful, everything that you do matters. And also, I think you'll find that you have increased fulfillment and maybe you're more resilient also, because if there's purpose behind what you're doing and something gets in the way of that, or things don't go as planned, you can bounce back a lot easier if you have that purpose and that why of why you're doing that thing. You're not going to be so easily thrown off. Um, and then just yeah, like I said, your overall health and well-being, I think that you'll notice a difference there. So, um, I encourage you to embrace your why and make conscious choices aligned with your values. And in just using the example of yoga, if you're someone listening to this that you've gotten out of your routine, you know that you should be coming to yoga, you want to come to yoga, but you just haven't made the time. Or for some people I know, when they've gone like a really long time without doing yoga, I've had people tell me this, that they're like afraid to come take their first class because it's going to be hard. But I just want you to know that it's it's there for you when you're ready, and I think you're ready now. And I think the time for anything that makes you feel good should be made, and it should be made right now. And I think that you will notice improvements in how you feel and who you're being if you do make time for those things. So just a quick recap, the four things that I covered, just, having a why, the power of purpose, the importance of remembering your why, especially when things get challenging and tough. Um, Discovering your why for every area of your life if you don't have it, looking at your life and your core values and making sure that the things you're spending your time on align with who you are. And then considering the benefits of living with a purpose, living with a why, and really being committed to incorporating that into your day to day and in how you take action in your life. So thank you for joining. This has been Play Hard and Love Big Radio, the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and Sup in Folsom, California. You can listen on any of your favorite podcast channels or even on YouTube. You can listen or watch on there. You can subscribe on YouTube so you get notified when a new podcast is published. And we will see you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day.